anything you want or you do not understand here, right? Just raise your hand and we can take up the question. Or, of course, there is a Q&A section at the end of the section. So I'll encourage, and no question is a small question. So just fire it. Okay? Yes. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Next. Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. No. Any previous then? Okay. ते ऑटोमॅटिक तर नाही जाणार ना तो बोर्ड. नाही नाही काही झालं तर मी हा जो आहे हा जो खाली हा इथे बघा हा जो आहे हा पॉज होऊन जातो मग तुम्ही हलवलं तर नाही ठीक पुन्हा हे जेव्हा पाहिजे तेव्हा तुम्ही हलवा. Okay. So new technology for me. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Okay, great. So let's start. Let me introduce myself. So Abhishek. I am a co-founder of a startup. It's called statstream.ai. Do visit the website. We are also recruiting from Anup sir. And so we are into IoT and data analytics domain, right? So as you may know, IoT, you have any background, right? So basically IoT is uh, Internet of Things, right? So like your mobile have a SIM card and it is connected to the internet, right? Like IoT is about connecting each and everything. Even your projector can connect to the internet. The industrial machineries, right, can connect to the internet. They will also have sensors and chips inside it, right? And they can also connect to the internet, right? And once they are connected to internet, basically they can send data, right? Suppose this fan have an IoT device. It's an IoT device, for example. So it can tell me in real time what is the speed of the fan, how much electricity it is consuming, right? So imagine this in an industrial setup where big boilers and big machine with heavy power usage, right, is happening, right? And they want to analyze this data and infer some good results out of this data, right? So they also want this all this AI and analytics inside their industry, right? So we are helping them. So our customer is Haldiram, then the Sun Vijay rolling mills, right? So what we are doing from there is getting the power data, real-time power data, right? And then doing analytics and applying AI on top of it and giving them proper output or inferences, like which machine is efficient, which unit is performing better, if at all there is any downtime, right? So we can give them notifications, right? So increasing the efficiency of an industry is what right now we are doing. Okay, but using the technology called IoT and data science and AI, right? I have 18 years of experience, right? Mostly in IT, in data analytics, AI, and all. I out of that 16 years, I have been into product companies. So if you know the difference between product-based and service-based companies, right? ETS, Infosys are service-based companies, right? But Google and Apple, right? They have their own product. They don't do other services. They are service-based, product-based companies, right? So out of that 16 years, I am doing product. From last 8, 10 years, I am actually working in startups only. small startups, big startup. I got my own startup as well, and then I sold it to Freshworks in USA, right? And this I'm working on this unique platform to measure the IoT KPIs. KPI is key performance indicator, right? So fan speed can be a KPI for somebody, right? Key performance indicator, right? So you give, so you want to give an exam, right? So how you will be successful in the exam if you study say 3 hours daily, then you will become successful in the exam, correct? So this 3 hours is actually the KPI, right? So if you keep on measuring this, okay, you are studying for 3 hours, 3 hour daily, right? We can ensure that you will be successful in the exam. So for you, studying 3 hours is the KPI. If it got reduced. So initially it is 3 hours and then it get reduced to half an hour. Then definitely there will be an impact on your exam, right? So for you, what is the KPI? Your studying hours is the KPI, right? So this is just one small example of what KPI is actually, right? Okay. Okay. So here everybody knows what is AI? Artificial intelligence. So simple, right? It's a branch of computer science that aims to create machine capable of intelligent behavior like human thinking and decision making. What it does mean, right? So machines can think, machines cannot think. By itself they cannot think, right? We have to make them think, right? So that it can mimic our brain. Like what we are thinking, they should also think. But that type of intelligence is far, far away. It's not existing yet, right? But we can definitely teach a machine to do some special sort of task like what humans can do, right? And it is we are far away from achieving that ideal robotics like you see in Terminator movies, I Robot and Terminator, right? So we are far, far away from that scenario still, but it is just a beginning, what I'll say. Okay, so we are still teaching the computers how to mimic ourselves. Okay, the major application, as I said, small tasks it can do. It cannot do everything, but small tasks it can do. So these are basically the tasks which right now it is being used already. Okay, so healthcare diagnosis and treatment, right? There is AI which you can feed the X-ray and it can detect that okay this is a fracture or not. Okay, drug discovery, you so what happens in drug discovery is there is a lot of data from the previous experiments that they collect, right? And they need to correlate that data and determine the effectiveness of drugs and whether this will work or not, or this sort of things, right? So it is helping there as well. Predictive analytics is again prediction of same the KPIs. You can also kind of monitor the vital parameters of a patient, right, and determine whether he's going to have a heart attack or not. That sort of stuff, right? Fraud detection, algorithmic trading risk assessment is very in finance domain is using big time to detect the frauds, credit card for frauds, online frauds, transactions, right, hacking attempts, right? So all these data get generated from the system and fed it to the machine learning algorithms, which can tell us like, okay, this transaction is something is fishy in this transaction, right? And they can alert some people working in that industry. Okay, retail, you are using it day in day out. You go and shop on Amazon, it will recommend you the products, right? It is all AI, right? It based on your last purchases, it learns from your what are your likes and dislikes, right? And recommend you products. So it's like everywhere. Chatbots everywhere, right? Most of the time you go to some site, there are support things, right? You chat with them, they will reply some, like some basic task they are able to solve, right? And then when you ask something complex, they'll refer you to some actual human support, correct? So this happens. So what they are basically doing is reducing the human efforts there. Okay. Manufacturing quality control, supply chain optimizations. Quality control is, suppose there is a say some plastic part is getting or metal part is getting manufactured, right? And they are passing it. They are continuously doing X-ray, and whether there is, if there is some crack or some welding is not proper or sealing is not proper, right? Then AI can detect it, and then just robot will just swipe that uh, part out of that line. Okay, so this is helping big time the manufacturing industries. Transportation, autonomous vehicles. You everybody knows Tesla Motors, right? Right. So they are really pioneer. They are pioneers in these automation, autonomous vehicles, automatic driving capabilities in a vehicle, right? So it is there. ADAS is coming in all cars now. All the new generation cars, the high-end models have ADAS. What it does is basically, if you say to follow one lane, it will just keep on following that lane. It detects the dividers and all markings on the road, and it will keep on following that lane, right? If somebody comes in the front, right, it will suddenly keep a brake, apply the brakes. Okay, so this is all happening due to AI and sensors which are on that vehicle. Okay, traffic management, predictive maintenance, and again the same thing. Like you can also measure like how many hours this fan is running, right? How is the motor performing? How is the rotations, right? And based on that, you can predict, okay, till what time this fan will work. Okay, enter recommended content. YouTube, classic example, right? It keeps on recommending the content you already know, right? You like to view, right? So it's all there. Video game AI is a very old stuff. Like people are doing this from ages. Your video game, you play PUBG, you get bots in that, right? So bot also shoot you, right? They are not just dumb bots. Of course, they have less capability, but yeah, they do. So it is also backed by some kind of AI, music, art generation, you name it. Like AI has penetrated each and every thing that you do. Okay. Okay. The first struggle. Mm-hmm. Ah. Okay. Done. 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 Okay. So what is then generative AI? Right. So generative AI is again a sub branch of AI. Same thing. Right. But it focuses on generating creative content like text, images, right? Videos, music, and often mimic creativity. Often mimic creativity is the important word here, right? So the other AI, what they are doing is giving us an output which is kind of read by specialist people, right? Suppose like the data that the fan is generating or some machinery is generating, the only general or the specialist people who are working in that industry can understand that, not the general public, right? Here is it's a thing like text, like it can generate email. So you want to send a job application email, right? And you ask ChatGPT to do that, it can generate you the email, right? You can even seeing it in the latest versions of Gmail. You start typing, it will suggest you the sentences. It's the same thing. It is generative. It can generate images. DAL-E, which is again an OpenAI product in parallel to ChatGPT. It can generate image. You give him a text, and it will interpret that text and try to generate some image out of it, right? So this kind of thing, which is kind of mimicking the creativity, generating stuff, but also mimicking the creativity of an individual, right? So it is what is generative? It is started. AI research began in 1950s, right? So AI is not a new field, right? It's application that the technology now is enabling it to be used by general public, but it is a old field. But in 2000, the breakthrough in this type of generative AI came in 2010 when generative adversarial network GANs were introduced, a breakthrough in generative AI, right? So that is one algorithm which a guy developed, right? And it paved the way for the next iterations of AI, which is a generative AI. So all this chat GPT and all other technologies, right? This algorithm enabled it in one sense. Okay. In 22, OpenAI GPT generative pre-trained transformer model like chat GPT gained prominence. This is when the chat GPT got launched. Okay. Okay. So again, to understand how the chat GPT works, right, we need to understand first what is this GAN, okay, generative adversarial network, okay. So is Ian Goodfellow is the, so why I am telling you all this, because it is very important to understand some history of a technology when you start studying it, right? And when you study or know some history of it, now you will automatically develop some interest. You will start connecting with that technology, right? So it is always, I'll recommend, if you are studying something, also study its history, how it came through, right? Who invented it? What were the major milestones in that technology, right? How it evolved. It will give you a different perspective of what you are studying or learning. Okay. So it is a fundamental tool for generating realistic and creative content. So it's basically see, this is all theory, but what I will tell you, right? It is a story, like on how GAN works. Okay. Now one is a generator. Generator is again it's just a algorithm, and one is the discriminator. Okay. So imagine these are two different people. One's name is generator, one's name is discriminator. Okay. Both are intelligent guys, right? But the generator do not know how to draw a cat. So they have only one task. So generator need to draw a cat, picture of a cat, and discriminator want to determine whether that picture is a cat or not. That's it. That's the two tasks for these two. Okay. So generator don't know what is a cat. It just draw something random and gives it to the discriminator. What discriminator do? Discriminator is already know how the cat looks like, because we have thousands of pictures of cat, and we have showed him the picture of cat, so he knows how cats look like, right? So the generator will just keep on generating random images, and the discriminator and giving it to discriminator to tell it is a cat or not. Discriminator already know what the cat looks like and it will accept or reject that picture. So initially all the pictures get rejected. See, the first attempt here, generator generates this because generator do not know how what cat looks like. But then discriminator will say no, it is not a cat. So after many attempts, like thousands of attempts, right? It will draw something like this. It is coming closer to the cat, right? But still it is not a cat, right? And then it starts learning from the mistakes that he is doing, right? And then it will generate a proper picture of the cat, which is looking very similar to what actually cat looks like, right? And then it discriminates that okay, this is the cat. Okay, so what is happening here? So one algorithm is making mistakes and learning for itself, and the other algorithm is telling them that this is a mistake, right? And then first algorithm is improvising on those feedback. So there is a constant feedback loop which is happening between the generator and the discriminator, right? So that the end result is the generator becomes so proficient in making the cat pictures is that then it can generate n number of cat pictures without any flaw, and it looks as realistic as possible. So this is how the generative AI and GAN networks work. Okay, any doubt in this? Generator is programmed to generate a picture. Yeah, it will not generate at the first attempt. It will not. This is just a line, right? No, it will keep on giving the feedback infinity times. At the last, it will be able to generate. Okay, so that is the beauty of the algorithm, right? You run the algorithm, then you just keep on feeding the data, and all this loop is happening, right? Right. So at last, it will come. It will produce the desired output. Okay, but there can be some thing where discriminator will also be perfect, right? If we only feed two pictures of cat, will the discriminator will able to discriminate? No, right? So this data set, what we are training this discriminator on, is also important. So without that feedback loop and actually discriminator is doing its work, it is not possible, right? So both the thing is there. This generator have to generate or keep on understanding with the from its mistakes, right? It will not again draw this same picture, right? Right. It will draw something closer to this, and it will keep on improving itself. So feedback mechanism is important here, right? Without feedback, it is not possible, and that is what the algorithm is all about. Yes, yes, it's the algorithm. Yes, yes, both of them, and two algorithms are working in combination. So they are not independent algorithms. They are one algorithm only. So one part is generation, one is discrimination. Okay. So this is how uh, the generative AI or chat GPT becomes so expert in generating text, because we have discriminator, we have fed them millions and billions of data points, right? So billions of pictures of cat that they have trained that discriminator on, right? And so it is able to give proper feedback to the generator, and now the generator is also like trained properly and so expert that it can generate new content day in day out, right? So this is how the basic of GAN networks works. Okay. Yeah. So now we understood how what is the basis of all this GPT and generative AI, right? But then who is behind the actual product? So ChatGPT is actually a product, right? So there is some company has developed that, right? So the company's name is OpenAI. So what does this company does? So OpenAI is an artificial intelligence research organization with founded with the goal of advancing and promoting friendly AI for the betterment of humanity. So this is the goal of that company or the mission or the vision of that company, what you can say, right? Anybody know what is the mission of Google? No? Simple, do no evil. That's it. Do no evil. Search it on the internet after you go home. You will find it, right? So they just don't want to do something evil. That's it. That's their mission, right? But the mission of OpenAI, vision of OpenAI is to develop the artificial intelligence as a technology whole for the betterment of humanity. Okay. So founder include Elon Musk, you already know. Sam Altman is a very big name in the startup ecosystem. He's basically the CEO, right? All the others you may not heard of, not sure, right? But Infosys is one of the investors, early investors of OpenAI. Okay, the Indian connection there. Established in December 2015, and ChatGPT is not the only product that they are having. Okay, DAL-E, Whisper, OpenAI Codex. Codex is basically the thing which is generating the code, right? So it is there. So ChatGPT a brief introduction. Now let's uh, come to the actual product for which is a ChatGPT. It is a large language-based chatbot developed by OpenAI, launched in November 30, 2022. It's just not even a year now, right? But it has stormed the entire world. Everybody wants to know about ChatGPT, want to understand ChatGPT, right? Everybody wants to use ChatGPT. Okay. Now, it is based on GAN itself, GAN itself. It has, but what is this GPT? GPT. So, did anybody had any curiosity? Like you know, ChatGPT is there, but what is GPT? Did you go and read about it? What is GPT? Why they are calling GPT? Why not chatbot? Why not chat ABC, XYZ? There are a lot of acronyms, right? Why chat GPT? So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That is what the algorithm which is working in the back end of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is basically a service. It is available on chat.openai.com. You can go from your mobiles. It have the mobile app. You can go install the mobile app, or even in the browser you can open this URL and you will able to access it. Just log in using your Gmail ID, or you can just register and start using that service. Okay, it's for limited stuff. It is free, and I'll definitely encourage you to go and check that out. It's so simple. Okay, but the backend of the algorithm which is working in the backend of ChatGPT is generative pre-trained transformer. Refer to a specific type of artificial intelligence model that excels in understanding and generating human-like text. Okay, this is self-explanatory, right? Any doubt in this? Okay. So what is a generative? Generative is creating content, generating something, text, images, whatever it is, right? So it is generating. So that's why it is generative. Pre-trained. What is pre-trained? Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Like how we are training the discriminator, right? We are providing or training that data model using billions of data points, right? Each data point containing some information, right? And then transformer. Deep learning model is particularly suited for natural language and processing tasks. Okay, it understands natural language. It understands what you are telling. It is able to uh, con- to infer the context in which you are talking, right? And it is also able to go and fetch the relevant or match the relevant data points in the backend to answer your questions. Okay, and it will only work on the data that you have fed. It, if you ask who is taking the seminar here at Python's Academy, he will not know because that data is not get fed to him, right? If we feed that data, it will know, right? So without the training, it no artificial intelligence can work. Similar to a human, right? You know Python because you are trained on it, right? So if you get a training, then you will know. Without training, AI is not possible. Okay. Basically, it is generating, it is taking the input from the user and generating what the user is asking, or it is kind of making the context and going in the backend, searching for the data points, uh, doing connecting the dots, right, and coming up with the answer to your questions or generating something new. Okay, so that is basically the chat GPT. Quick test of it. So there is a product from GitHub called GitHub Copilot. Have anybody heard that name? Okay. So it's a very beautiful product, and we are using it day in day out in ChatStream actually. So it is a plugin of Visual Studio Code. Everybody know Visual Studio Code, right? So it is a plugin for Visual Studio Code, and once you install it and subscribe to it, it's a paid service. It's not a free service. It charges say $10 or something per month. And once it is plugged in and you are signed in, right? So you write a comment like write the binary search algorithm in the Visual Studio Code. It will generate full code for you automatically. No need to think, right? No need to go and check the documentation. No need to go and search, and even you do not know how the binary search tree works, it will generate that algorithm or generate that code for you automatically, right? So it is basically doing the work of developer. Okay, here actually this is the actual screenshot where I was playing with it yesterday when I was making this presentation. Write a binary search algorithm. This is a chat GPT actual screenshot from the chat GPT. I asked him write a binary search algorithm in Python. This is in TypeScript or JavaScript. Okay, this is Python. The same algorithm what he has developed there. You can compare it, right? It has given the same code in Python. So this is how it will benefit the developer world, right? Okay. So will your jobs become redundant then? It is writing the code, right? We'll see. Okay. Similarly, use cases of ChatGPT, right? Salesforce is using customer insight, personalized agents, chatbots. Salesforce is using the Duolingo. Duolingo, you know Duolingo, right? So helps you learn the languages, right? So they are using it a lot to understand Max is enable language student to in-depth explanation of why their answers to a practice test and questions are correct and incorrect. So it is actually working as an examiner, right? Who is evaluating your answers and giving you proper suggestions and ways to improve on your knowledge. Okay. Microsoft, again, Bing search engine, they are using ChatGPT. If you have recently visited Bing search engine, bing.com, it's a search engine just like Google, right? They have integrated ChatGPT in that search engine itself. So, like what you ask the ChatGPT on its UI, you can search. If you search something in Bing, it will also generate the output there. Okay, along with the search results. So that is the power. Again, the GitHub, as I told you already, right? AI tool to harness the power of Codex, generative pre-trained language model, right? This is also developed by OpenAI. It generates code, and it generates really complex code because I am using it day in day out, right? Now I don't have to go and look for documentation and Stack Overflow and anything. If I am stuck anywhere, right? I just ask ChatGPT and it suggests me the answer, right? So I am now 10x more productive than I used to be, right? Because my own whole concentration is I spend more time in ID than in searching for answers or to my problems or issues. Some algorithms I am writing not working, so I just feed that algorithm to ChatGPT and it suggests me the improvements on top of it, right? So there are a lot of use cases you can improve. You can write algorithm, right? It can readily, it can learn from your code, your patterns inside your IDE, and suggest you very similar kind of code generation is happening there. So it's really I'll say it's a marvel that such technology exists right now, right? Coca-Cola is marketing and creating personalized content, right? Imagine you are doing marketing, right? And you want to you want to send some emails to your customer, right? But there are thousands of Coca-Cola, thousand millions of customers must be there, right? You cannot personalize your email to each and everybody, right? And if they are analyzing, they have already the intelligence of how people are liking the Coca-Cola and what about some information about those customers, right? So AI can help them generate some personalized emails to be sent to the end customers, right? Okay, so that is how they are using. Any questions here on this slide? Any other Gmail, as you know, see, Gmail is not using ChatGPT definitely, but we'll come to that. It's a different product altogether. But this is how the companies are using ChatGPT or similar to generative AI. Gmail is one of the examples. It is generating emails for you, right? Similarly, all these companies are using or benefiting from the technology in some way or the other. Okay. Any just we'll do some thing. Any other use case that you think of we can apply using ChatGPT? How it is going to affect your daily life? I'll tell you my story. Most of the content that I have put it on the side is actually generated by ChatGPT. So I went there. I asked ChatGPT, what is the history of AI? What is the history of OpenAI as a company, right? And it gave me the pointers. Of course, I correlated them with the actual data that is available on the internet, on their own site and all, right? Because so we'll get to the disadvantages as well, because not everything that ChatGPT tells you is correct. Like the same thing, like what not everything what you get on WhatsApp is true, right? Similar thing is there also, but this will help you in your studies. This will help you in developing or solving your questions or papers, right? Um, Maybe your assignments, lot of things. But I'll not encourage you to do use this to solve it, definitely, because you will not learn the basics then. Okay, but yeah, this is going to affect lot of stuff what you will use. Okay. Okay, so what is the impact on you? Yes. Okay. Exactly, exactly. So ChatGPT can also write code to integrate with ChatGPT. That is also possible. It can generate the code similar to that, right? So our developers, programmers are become so. I guess most of you are either working in as a programmers or writing code, or have aspiration to become one, right? So are you guys becoming redundant? Because ChatGPT is writing code. Yeah. Huh. Huh. Okay. Huh. 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 Right, 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 right. Exactly, exactly. Is it proper response? Should I use such punctuations or such words? Right? You always get some like cold feet at the last moment, right? Right, right. Correct, correct, correct. Okay, okay. Huh. Huh. Yeah, yeah. That is actually that happens. Okay. So if there is something you can ask, you will ask. Right? So reassurance, you are actually using ChatGPT as a reassure that what you are doing is correct or not, right? That is one good way of working, but be confident. It's not that rocket science. Okay. So coming back to the question again, this developer has become redundant. So should you stop learning Python? Should you stop investing in technology because anyway you are going to be redundant? Okay, absolutely not. Okay, या ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. Nothing is going to happen. Okay, but this new chat GPTs and generative AI is opening some new doors for us, right? And what are those? It's some new opportunities are there to grab, right? And we are very fortunate that we are born in this time, right? We are seeing lot of things happening. New revolutionary technologies are coming in our lifetime, which our grandparents have never saw, right? They never saw mobile phones, right? They never saw jet engines, correct? They never saw chat GPT. They never saw robots. Okay? So we are very fortunate. They also never saw corona virus. So yeah. So integration with tools like ChatGPT, Bard, DALI. Bard is a Google's alternative to ChatGPT. Okay. So integrations that like you are using, right? We can integrate everybody wants to integrate their applications, their services with ChatGPT. So there is a huge opportunity there, right? ChatGPT plugins, you can write ChatGPT plugins, right? And in Python it is possible. You can just go to their site and there is a whole documentation on how you can write ChatGPT plugins in Python. It's a huge opportunity there. Everybody wants to integrate with ChatGPT using these plugins, right? 10x developer speed, right? So you are a developer using ChatGPT in your code editor, Visual Studio or IntelliJ, right? So you can install the plugins and instantly become 10x more productive. You can finish your task sooner, but that doesn't mean that jobs are going away. It's just helping you. So initially, what you used to do is to, if you are stuck somewhere, you used to go in on Stack Overflow or Google, put in the error there, and find out some answers, look for some answers, and then copy paste the code in your. So everybody does that. There's no shame in that. Okay. But now what it will do is it will quickly can tell you what is wrong with your algorithm or what the code that you are writing. It can quickly generate unit test cases for you without even putting any effort in that. Just tell him to generate that. This, you are writing a function. You tell him to write a unit test case for it. It will generate a unit test case for you, right? So you become 10x more productive. But is it that it will finish? You will say if there are 10 developers and everybody has become 10x faster in their task, so the company will stop introducing new features. Your work will go away. No, it is just like that. The company will expect the release of the features faster, 10x faster. But again, the new features will come in, right? So that cycle is not going anywhere. It is just become faster. Okay, so there is no issue in that direction. Okay, prompt engineering is a very beautiful field and actually a very highly paying field in USA right now, and still uh, kind of coming to India recently. Prompt engineering is what? Basically, yeah, yeah, tuning the algorithm as per your business case. Suppose there is a you are working in a travel website like Make My Trip or something. So there, if you are developing a chatbot, correct? You will, the user which is coming to Make My Trip will not ask that chatbot to write a binary tree search algorithm. They are going to ask them, when is this flight? Do we have like vacancy, hotel availability is there or not, right? That kind of questions they will ask. Is this flight late or not, right? Can you plan my travel? Which spots I can visit when I am going to say Mumbai, right? It can plan my trip to like 5 days trip to some Delhi. This type of question it will ask, right? So tuning those algorithms, that generative AI algorithms for that specific travel domain is what is the work of prompt engineering, right? So travel search will, like Bing has done, search domain, right? Support, sales support domain, that is also big customer support, right? Like somebody is now talking to the actual human agent, can talk to chat GPT, and it can further enhance the chatbot's capabilities to deeply understand that whole their systems and suggest stuff there. Okay, training the data models. So like the chat GPT, there are lot of open source data models available on the internet, right? You just go to Hugging Face. It's a community of data models. You will find lots and lots of data models there. You can download them and tune it as per your requirements. So that training of data models is going to be one big field, right? Better analytics, data analytics tool. So you already maybe using Python and then big data. Python is very big in big data and data analytics field and AI, right? So it can enable some capabilities in the already existing analytics, which will enhance that flow. Imagine instead of graph, you just asking some questions and it will going understanding what you want and going and churning the data and finding out exact results for you, right? So, or maybe automatically predicting what will happen for some data in the future and giving you the suggestions on improving that, right? Or automatically placing order. So it says this fan is going to stop working, say 10 days down the line. It actually goes and places the order of a new fan. Okay, so this kind of stuff can be enabled. And AI/ML, the good old AI/ML that you are learning, like pandas and numpy, and these are all going to stay, right? So AI, the generative AI can only enhance the existing stuff, but the old stuff is going to stay. It is not going anywhere. Okay. So the industry is going to generate data, right? It is going to come to the analytics. They are going to apply the NumPy and Pandas algorithms to it and generate a proper analytics data. That is not going anywhere. So what you are learning or what you are planning to learn is not going anywhere. Is going to stay. Understand? Any question in this? Any doubts? Right? Hmm. Okay. So so far we only saw what is the good about the AI. So let's see some drawbacks as well, right? Because you need to get a complete picture, not just good parts. Okay. AI model can perpetuate or even amplify the existing bias in the data that they are trained on, leading to biased outputs. What is this? Yep. Exactly. 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 Right. So we'll see a small example. Suppose there is a product website which there is a chatbot on that website. So the use case for that chatbot is you give them their problem and it will recommend some products for to you. Okay. So for example, if I want to wash my clothes, okay, so it will tell you, okay, use Nirma, use Rin, right? But I have washing machine, not manual. Okay, use Surf Excel or Surf Excel Liquid. That kind of chatbot is there. Okay, but then somebody has trained to only recommend products from Procter and Gamble or only recommend search products. So it's a bias, right? It will only recommend you the if you are say if you are want to wash and you want to recommendation for that product, it will only give you Surf as a product. No Nirma, no nothing. So it's a biased output that we can generate. So that is one issue. If you are training it with the biased data, it will give you biased answers. Okay. Privacy challenges. Use of personal data in training generative AI models, which infringe on individual privacy. Say you are filling in some form in some hospital about your medical data, right? And that the hospital use that data in some training of their model, like prediction and everything. But you are not aware of it. Did they get a permission from you to use your data as such? You don't want to be using that, right? So that is one challenge. So unknowingly, companies can use your data. Like I will say, today is the world of connected data, right? Even Google knows more than what parents knows about you. This is a fact. Amazon knows more of your habits than your mother. Okay, so companies can use that data to tune their algorithms, right? And which can infringe your privacy rights. You don't want certain data to be exposed outside. Misuse of abuse, fake news, right? It's everywhere. WhatsApp university students, right? You get day in day out lot of fake news, right? Indian national anthem is selected for UNESCO, all that tribe bullshit, right? You get day in day out. So you need to filter out. You understand what is fake or not, right? But AI, as it is used to generate good output, it can be used to generate bad outputs as well, right? Uh, the security can help hackers to find exploits and generate. This is the actual use case, and Chat GPT has now banned this type of input, right? So when Chat GPT came at the start, people, the hackers started asking them the exploits. So what typically a hacker do? So it will scan the server. It do not have direct access to your servers. It will scan the servers and try to figure out what softwares are installed on the server, right? So for example, there is a Python version installed on your server. There is a Django application running, right? So certain port scan will tell you what is the version of Django application running on your server, what is the Python version running on the server, and then it can take that version and find out what are the exploits or what are the bugs are there in your on that in that version, because there is an open database of software exploits or software issues, right? So it can go and search there and figure out this your particular site is vulnerable to certain kind of issues or certain kind of bugs, and then it uses that exploit to gain access to your system. Okay, so basically the hackers started using this to know more about the exploit, or even start writing scripts to actually run a hacking attack. Okay, so that is one very big security issue that happened initially, right? And they have now blocked those kind of prompts. Generate viruses, like the code we are generating, the binary search tree. I can also tell him to generate some virus which can say wipe off your hard disk or something, or make you pay, or encrypt all the data and ask you the Bitcoin, right? Such attacks did happen, even now they are happening, right? So this is also one big issue. And see, they are very high level points that I have written. There are so much damage that this technology can do in each one of these, right? So as the use cases are also unlimited, the problems are also unlimited. And even some of the even the CEO, this Sam Altman, is actually vouching for regulation on the use of chat generative AI tools or AI in general, right? There is a definitely threat of or a possibility of something like Terminator 2, where Terminator movies, if you have watched those, right? So in that movie, what happens is the AI becomes so intelligent that it takes over the full military capabilities of a country and start firing missiles from at each other and generating this AI which will try to kind of subjugate the humanity, right? So this kind of scenario, not definitely now, but in future is definitely possible if we kind of go on the same path that we are in. So the governance is very much required, and we are people are looking at the government to bring in regulations. Lot of big people or influential people have expressed concerns about this, right? And Yeah. So that is the case. Okay. So is ChatGPT is the only product available? No. There are a lot of other products as well. So Google has its own Bard AI. Meta, Facebook has Llama 2. This is Baidu's Ernie is also one artificial intelligence. Hugging Face model came. It's a very big. I'll definitely recommend you to go to Hugging Face and check out. There are so many artificial intelligence models there. You can actually go download them and use them in Python. It's all Python. Stack Overflow. This is an interesting thing. As ChatGPT came, right? So the graph of Stack Overflow started declining and declined by big time. So initially, everybody used to go to Stack Overflow to find out the problems or search for the solutions. Question answers. It's a question answer stuff, right? But now the AI is telling them, right, the fixes. Nobody's going to Stack Overflow anymore. So they are coming up with their own Overflow AI, right? I have not used it so far, but I heard it is good, right? But I am planning to try it next week. What they are doing, and other numerous tools that using chat or these one of the algorithms or many of the algorithms can help you. Like Duolingo has, everybody's integrating it with them, right? Some are to just to correct your grammatical mistakes, right? Grammarly have its own uh, integration with the chat GPT and all, right? So there are a lot of tools which are coming up in that. So this space is really heating up now, and there are unlimited possibilities. So you should embrace what is coming. You should not afraid. So new technology is always pose some challenge at the start, but I firmly believe that once you get used to or you know certain things, you get more comfortable. For example, if you give your the current Android phone to your grandmother, she will not be so confident of using it, right? But it is, for them it is very complex. But to a 5 year old you give the same phone, right? It's exactly the opposite reaction. He gets hooked to it. He cannot even keep that phone away, right? So the new technology is always going to pose some challenge in learning, but if you give enough time to that, right, everything becomes easy, right? Same way for any Rust language or any new technology or new language you study, anything you study, you give enough time, you will get hands on it, no problem. Okay. So what is the next? What is next? So maybe homework, you can go home and open this link, right? What does link have? It's have how to write a plugin for ChatGPT, and just try it out. It's all Python. It's very easy. Okay. Nothing happening. Okay. So the next slide. It's an questions. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Questions. Anything you want to ask? Any doubts? Any experiences you want to share? I'm all open.